wins and 2 losses in official competitions. They fell to Falcons in Stage 1, which is the reason they weren't in Copenhagen. That was the only map they lost through the entirety of Stage 1. And in Stage 2, they lost this map yesterday against G2. Or sorry, that would have been 2 days ago.
Yeah,
against G2. The one and only time they've played this map this stage. This is a map that they have historically never won. It's a map that they have historically never really enjoyed. So they'll try it again. They left it up for a reason. They clearly knew this was a possibility. Let's see what they got in store.
I should point out that the GK game against G2 was a 5-7 loss. It was close.
It was.
So it wasn't like they got so slaughtered on it. It was a close series. We saw Key in the in-game chat saying, I'm going for 0-16, by the way. So not only does he say, we're taking it 2-0, he also says, my team doesn't need me. I'm saving it for the main stage.
Fair enough. Hey, listen, I appreciate someone who can set realistic goals.
Is that realistic, though?
Listen, the other side, obviously not great results from GK. From Wolves, 4-0 on the season. 3 of those wins coming recently in Stage 2, taking out Heroic, Into the Breach, and in Atlanta, D plus Kia were their most recent victims on Skyscraper. So there is reason to believe that we will be headed to a 3rd map. The bans coming through here as well, as we saw the Kaid, I believe the only repeat ban from these 2 teams' previous matchups on this map throughout Atlanta. Funnily enough, both of these teams banned the Montaigne when they initially played this in Atlanta. Neither of them banning it today.
That was my big question was, is Monty going to go through? Because it was not played on Nighthaven, but it's also, Nighthaven isn't that big of a Monty map, whereas Skyscraper, we see a lot of specific Monty rounds, especially on this bomb set of T Karaoke. So it's not being hovered as of now by Wolves, but of course attack repick is in action. That could change. But what I really think is interesting here is that GK went for the nuke ban. And I'm always like, I see Hasham like on Nighthaven, I'm like, he should play the nuke role, and he doesn't. And so this is obviously a target ban towards Wolves, towards Mowgli, to Deadshot, etc. because they like to utilize the nuke on Skyscraper, lurking about. And of course, this also means you have one less set of grenades on the attack side, usually, because now you're forced into Sledge instead, or you're forced to play Finger every single round, whereas the nuke is usually more of a niche pick, but now that's just entirely gone.
Yeah, Deadshot and P4, generally the Nook players on Wolves. Both of them have 4 rounds on this operator. Excuse me, Deadshot 5 rounds on this operator. So a little bit of play from both of them, obviously, but not going to see it now with the Nook being banned on out. And then the Glaz, also a weird one. Also popular on this bomb site in particular, T-Room Karaoke. You'll often set up a Glaz on the Karaoke window to try to watch in for a quick maybe smoke plant or something like that, but we don't see it. Instead, it's going to be a full East Side exhibition clear over coming through from Wolves. Hasham, of course, roaming on that side of the map as well. He, maybe Noodle, maybe Trix will likely be the first ones to get into an engagement.
Yeah, I mean, this is the 2nd time in a row that Wolves have banned out that Glaz. So, I mean, obviously it's a comfort pick for them, or rather a comfort ban, I suppose you could say. It's because they picked the operator to ban. This is different. First bit of Selma's going off, and, well, unfortunately, Hasham's not able to spray away at the Selmas. I mean, some of that wall opened up leading into Terrace, or, well, that one not technically into Terrace. It's leading into Office. Noodle gets on the board first. Down goes P4. No IQ for the remainder of the round.
Yeah, I mean, it can be a decent loss. It depends on how these Valkyrie cameras play out from Trix. Then so far, I mean, when you're going for the roam clear, the Valkyrie not going to be an issue. We can tell from this top-down view that every single defender has fallen off the roam. They're back towards the bomb site, bunkering up, and that's because when you get the opening kill on Skyscraper, you've got what you want. You don't want to risk yourself dying now on the roam, so you fall all the way back, establish crossfires, and Wolves, they still have to respect what if there's a roamer. So we hide in the corner, drone every inch of the map, every corner, and then progress up through. But this top dragon, top drum position can be hard to break apart.
Nice little opening pick. Hasham's given up nothing sitting inside of Drum. You know, he was playing inside of Office at the very start of the round, fell off very early, left Noodle kind of alone. Kind of very good that Noodle got that pick, because there would not have been a trade if P4 had actually won the gunfight up against Noodle. They're going to focus their attention over towards Geisha, and a bunch of frags coming in for GK. Wow.
So much for their worst map. Now, I will say that even though you can contextualize it with numbers, that you are completely wrong just because of the first 3 kills in round number 1, and that's all that matters. Now it's Deadshot to engage with Key. No. Can Key get the final kill? Deadshot will have to reposition now. Give it to him. Just give it to him at this point. Nitro Cell, Deadshot getting away from it. Hey! He does it! No pacifist play from Key this time. his very first kill of the series. There wasn't a lot of HP to get, but I mean, that's all that does matter.
Key unlocked.
Oh.
No!
Thank you.
Somewhere there's an air horn. First kill, thanks. You're welcome. You know what? We need a clap in chat, please. Not us, them.
It went off for Key.
I don't know if they can, do our mics pick it up. I don't.
I'm not sure.
I'm clapping.
I mean,
I was clapping.
I mean, GK bad on Skyscraper, supposedly, statistically, but they start defense. And I feel like, I hate to be like, oh, defender-sided map, blah, 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 whatever, but it is incredibly difficult to attack on Skyscraper. It's hard to get in, it's hard to pick up out at the middle section of the round, and the bomb site itself is also, for the majority of the bomb sites, besides Master Bedroom itself, which is rarely played, they're very strong. So there's no, like, kind of like easy part for the attack. Whereas, let's say you're doing like a clubhouse basement attack, it's easy to roam clear, it's hard to hit the side. It's always hard here.
Yeah, and I really do like the playstyle switch up from GK. We saw in Nighthaven, again, I'm going to focus on Hasham here. He was so often wanting to play in those aggressive positions. Even if he gets droned out, he re-swings. He gets more into your face. He's not wanting to fall off. That round, he fell off immediately. He was gone out of there. And for them, I think that did waste a lot of extra time from Wolves because they were expecting somebody to be there. Noodle was there, obviously, and he did find that pick. But even after that, Noodle got out of dodge. Wolves spent a lot of time just droning on that side of the map afterwards, trying to find a pick in, trying to find some sort of an entry, and they never really were able to do that. So we'll switch bomb sites. Still on the top floor. It's going to be Office Exhibition. And again, it seems, at least for the start, Wolves are focusing primarily on this east side take. They're not full clearing over from T and Karaoke side. So we'll see how this goes for them to start. They also have an Amaru on the board, although I don't know if it's going to do a whole lot of Gara hooking in.
I was gonna say, you usually go downstairs, up the hatch with Diffuser, if anything, try and get a plant and a botch nade maybe from Mowgli, but I think it works out and clears out that barbed wire instead, so it's all good. But the thing is, there's no distraction operator to help P4 on the Amaru, no Ying. I mean, they have some flashbangs, but that's on P4, and then Shinka, who's outside the window. He's gonna find the balcony, though, not up the hatch.
P4's got maybe some different weaponry than what we expected. He's got that supernova shotgun. Nitro Cell goes out, almost killing P4, not before Noodle had taken a near mortal beating as well. Mowgli knows somebody is inside a drum, but he turns tail to run away as Noodle and Trix get on the board. And the team kill against Deadshot puts Wolves in such terrible position to start their own map.
I mean, they didn't even commit to that, Jesse. They were kind of half in, half out. Mowgli sprints through a doorway into the bomb site, and then Shinka and Bipo, they're outside the building. I'm not really sure what happened here, but it seemed like either somebody didn't believe in the call or just didn't hear it.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't really have the control for that. Obviously, they jumped on in. We saw Mowgli getting forward, bit of siege timing for him to not see Trix inside of Drum. But even still, like, you don't have control of that room. You're walking into a crossfire. Even if you're watching the angle and you get luckier on the timing, I mean, you're still in a pretty rough fight. Now they're in a 2v4. Again, as you mentioned, Nick, not a lot of distraction operators coming through. They find one, great from Bibu, okay, but he's now very low HP off of that. And still working in with Shinka. Everybody on GK just willing to let them waste their own time.
Yeah, but speaking of numbers, GK, 3 members on 1 HP. All of a sudden, this looks very winnable, but it has to be Shinka most likely to find those skills to do that damage. He's on Thermite, not your typical clutch operator, but he can get it done.
Well, HPs on GK obviously are not to their strengths at the moment, with Key, Noodle, and Leader all on a single bullet away, but, well, you still got a gun at your disposal. You could still shoot away. One player close range right next to Bibu. That's Trixed. Out goes a Nitro Cell, and a shotgun there will be the undoing of Wolves if they go through that door without checking. Now Bibu hopefully waiting for something now down below, missing most of his opportunities. Tricks to swing, 3 kills, no deaths. Can he make it a 4th? On the stairs he does indeed. GK up 2-0.
A lot of faith in Trix in that 3v2. They just let him handle the 2 players over by the house stairs, the 2 Brits. Staying back. They're on low HP. They know the time's very low. Even if he gets 1 kill, delays some time, they're like, Trix can handle this, okay? We're going to chill. We're going to win on time, even if he does go down. So they don't help their teammate, but it's fine. He's got a shotgun close range. They handed it out very, very nicely. Yeah, I think that push was sloppy. Nick, the very start of the round, you said it. They don't have any of these distraction operators. There's no Ying. There's no smokes. That's typically what you see with that push, and it just wasn't there. Instead, they jump on in and get slammed.
I mean, they got absolutely slammed, and when your coach calls a tactical timeout, when you lose the second round, you know something's going really bad.
Some problems.
There are some minor problems here at play, yeah, and I think this must be like a mentality thing and communication thing, because mechanically speaking, we know how great all the players are on the server. Wolves especially, I mean, they're known to just kind of break through some of these hard holes. You know what? They have a shield, they have ADSs, we don't care. Mowgli walking, pew pew pew. But in that round, it was like Mowgli's in and everybody else is out, and Shinka looks away, doesn't cover, then team kills and he flicks back. It's just, what is going on here, Wolves?
It's a calamity of errors. And I mean, one thing that has been consistent with this Wolves team is always that they seem to struggle under pressure an awful lot. When things get really tough, this is a team that has a bit of a history of folding. And I mean, not like every match up to this point has not been tough, but you're now playing in the toughest match. You win this, you go to the main stage, you lose, you're out. This is the end of the road. This is the toughest game that Wolves will play until they get onto that stage, and they need to actually get there first.
On the flip side, you could say that about every other game they've played at this tournament so far. They've always been backs against the walls.
I did say that.
Well,
I said that it's not, I said that all the more elimination games. But they knew that there was still more work to be done afterwards, right?
Sure.
They've been fighting for their lives, and this is where they can form a beautiful rebirth. A new set of wolf cubs to grow up on the main stage. Wouldn't it be beautiful to see 5 little wolf puppies growing and coming into their own?
I'm lost on this analogy,
That's
Nick.
very visual. I don't know about that one, my guy.
I think it's delightful. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah. Well, in that case, I hope they make it, Parker. But you're right. I mean, Wolves, they've made every single major under this organization. Even made the previous event on the Vitality for the changed.
Yeah.
But they've never made it past quarters. And sometimes, more often than not, they go out doing groups. So them exiting here at the tail end of the second phase would be right on where they usually exit, unfortunately.
It's Barbecue Kitchen for round number 3. Wolves, after their tack timeout, are going to be trying to clear quite a bit of the map. They're again kind of mostly entering from the Office Exhibition side. We do see Noodle in a bit of a cheeky spot. Hashan,
Oh my god, he's in the toilet.
Down in the toilet, as you say. There's some players down there with him, too. I think that's P4 running around on the bottom floor. Yes, it is. He seems to have absolutely no idea, and he's making a lot of noise. Might be fresh meat.
I mean, the thing is now that you gotta play that middle line, you wait for enough time, just go for the kill. No mind.
Bye-bye.
Don't mind. I mean, often players will hide in the corner for as long as possible, go for a late round of flank, cause some chaos in the server, but instead, you know, a free kill's a free kill, and now you see Wolves kind of running back, saying, okay, now I guess we gotta deal with Hashan, but where is he? Sledge above, dead check, open the hatch, open the floor, but the droning, the intel from Wolves, only 4 drones left, it's really lacking in this round.
Hashan is still in this position by house. We got swung on and targeted from multiple angles. Bibu collapsing on him, as you saw those nuisance operators that you talked about in the previous round being absent get brought at least in the hands of Dokkaebi, which with her ban rate being what it is, she can have such influence on these rounds, and immediately it pays off when she gets brought in round 3.
Okay, so I like that clear from Bibu. The only problem is now there's about a minute left.
Yeah.
All the defenders are in the west, all the attackers are in the east. So they're making that move over now. We've seen Shinka kind of rotate over to Geisha, getting that open. We're seeing him now on the restaurant window as well. Trix taking some damage, so this is potential. Trix is, of course, up there on the top floor. This is going to be, it's going to have to be explosive, honestly, if they want to clear this out and make it happen fast.
Yeah, they don't have to put Dokkaebi phone calls either, so they gotta do it just kind of going in with the guns blazing. I mean, they have, again, 4 drones, but they need all 4 members with the manpower to move into the bomb side. They don't have the intel here.
They gain it, at least on the position of that player inside of Barbecue. Leader taking one down with him before he's traded off right away. Now a swing onto Mowgli from Key, who's performing much better on Skyscraper. Trix on stairs will have to work with Key as Bibu hunts him down, but the time is just not there. There's nowhere to go unless Shinka can get that diffuser down. He attempts it, but he's on 0-0-0. And Trix will get the final 2 kills. The timeout did not work immediately. 3-0 from Geekay, who seem to have the wind at their backs.
Yeah, when you're going for that low time push, right? A lot of players still on the board, 4v4. You don't necessarily have that intel because you didn't have the time to really gather it. You didn't have the time to clear every single position. I want to see these teams pushing more together. You want those trades in these really tough pushes with low time because it's going to get messy. It's going to get explosive, and you're going to lose people. So have those bodies there to get for the trade. Bibu, I think, got one trade. He played pretty well this round. I thought he was really solid. However, the rest of his teammates just not able to really find anything. This example right there from Key. With the SMG-11, took down a frag. Was there anybody there with the Flores? Absolutely not.
And that's the thing, it comes also down to like utility spending, right? If you spend all your utility in the first minute of the round to clear one guy out in the roam, Hasham on the Solace, you don't have anything else with the remaining 4 defenders, the remaining last minute of the round. And for the most important one, the bomb site itself. So if you have people on Dokkaebi and you use both calls to hunt down one player, I mean, imagine you had 1 or 2 calls of the bombs that execute. You can walk in without the drones, you can hear where they are, go for pre-fires, and have a more, let's say, more confidence going into it, because right now Wolves, they don't look all that comfortable nor confident. I mean, they're running in the building, they're dying pretty early on. Mowgli's 1-3, Tetris 1-3, P4 is 0-3 as is Shinga. It's Bibu with 4 kills, but half of them are kind of exit kills in the round, so they're lacking early game presence right now. They're getting shut down very early on.
P4, don't want to mention it, but I'm going to. 0-3 after really struggling the last map as well. Especially in those early rounds, right? When he's in those early engagements, we need to see him performing. We need to see him stop getting caught off guard. Hopefully this is his turnaround. He's going to be playing kind of up towards this top floor, alongside Mowgli, actually, very nearby. Noodle bottom floor. He was roaming up towards the top of house stairs. He's now down at the bottom, trying to make a bit of a play, trying to be a little bit more sneaky, but he's in a bit of trouble here. If he can't get out, runs up to his mute chamber, turn off his phone. Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, do that. Meanwhile, Mowgli gets the opening kill now. Wolves looking a little bit better so far in this round. He's tricked on 6 kills. That C4 also gone from his pocket, so all of a sudden, looking a little bit better. But the thing is, yeah, you can have a pretty decent early round here. The thing is, you gotta keep up the pace of your Wolves. Go through the map, clean it downstairs, maybe see if Mowgli can get a grenade kill or 2, and then work your way up those staircases. Plenty of time, but again, it's all about the intel. These drones have to get the work going for them to share the intel with Mowgli downstairs.
The geisha wall opened up, so at least if you're not necessarily getting kills through some of this action, you're getting your utility on the board, though there was a kill earlier from Wolves. They're in significantly better position. Nade will go out, but Jesse, I believe you said they went fishing. In this case, they're going to go home very hungry and very empty-handed. So we haven't really seen a lot of success with these nades from below. Oh, Leader is not... Oh, he's so close to P4. Mowgli is there as well. Can he get him? There goes the grenade. Swung on. Leader out-dueled by Mowgli. Wolves with 1 minute left find themselves in a 5v3. But there's Key playing on the window with Noodle not too far off. Taken out by Mowgli yet again. All the kills so far for Mowgli.
We've got 2 players still up on the side of Geekay, and they're quite spread out. Hasham and Drum, Noodle actually not holding the crossfire with him. Up on that top floor, looking to try to make something happen. Bottom floor, excuse me. He's got that C4 down below as well. They do have Valkyrie on the board, so I do wonder if there's some intel for maybe a late round plant in denial. They've got Shinka down there too. He's got to get up to the bomb site. He's going to rappel into the karaoke window. This is going to be pretty low time. Mowgli knows that this is a problem, so he's hunting for the bottom floor player, and he finds him. 4K, looking for the ace with the last guy alive. It's just going to be Hasham.
It's him and Shinka that will be fighting for this honor. Hasham's inside a geisha. This could be a showstopper. Oh, potential for 4K. If he can fight it, but Mowgli softens him up, still in the hunt! An ace for Mowgli, and Wolves get on the board finally.
It's all it took. Superhero performance, 1 versus 5 essentially. And the thing about Mowgli is that he started with the opening kill, then he runs up the staircase, gets another down the staircase, gets another, shuts down the C4 vertically, and also covers Shinga in that 2 versus 1 plant. I mean, this is the thing. Individually, Mowgli did such a good job in that round, but the issue is, what if he doesn't? What if he didn't? That round doesn't go that way, and Wolves as a team are kind of falling apart.
It's really scary that Mowgli could have gotten a 4K, and that would have definitely been around for GK. If he loses loses that final 1v1, plants going down, that's it. That's GG for the round. So, I mean, great from Mowgli, but yeah, I agree. The overall play needs to be better from Wolves. I like in that final 2v1 how he was really not even trying to kill this last guy, not even trying to kill Hisham, but to distract him. Making so much noise here on the staircase, firing his gun before he even saw him, and then he goes to cut off the angle which the player would take to deny the plants. That's really nice to see from Mowgli. It's not even just the gunplay, but it's the individual decision-making in the micro. That's great to see. And the other thing that's good to see, they're yelling. They're loud.
The vibes
Wolves win when they're loud. We've seen Lailoon literally take timeouts for this tournament, literally just to say to her boys, listen, we got to be a little bit louder. We aren't bringing the energy here, because when Wolves are yelling, when they're having a good time, that's when they've seen the most success.
Yeah, and I do want to take back actually, like, I didn't realize how much P4 helped Mowgli in that round. He was IQ sprinting in front of him, actually enabling Mowgli to get those kills. So yeah, Mowgli did all the job, but he did have support this time. So I want to take that back. Wolves they don't seem like they're falling apart. They seemed better in that round.
Okay. Well, here we are, our office exhibition once again. No Amaru this time, going to be maybe less of an explosive execute, but it still feels like a pretty direct take. Most of the players on Wolves starting over on this east side. Doesn't seem like they're going to clear from Tea Room and Karaoke. Perhaps down below, as we do see the drones down there in P4 as well. The taken out from the house stairs. Key, so good there.
No, we missed an opportunity to see P0-4. Now he's P0-5. Mowgli just couldn't use the adrenal surge fast enough, and now using it and getting out-dueled by Key, whose 5th kill is doing excellent work, second only to Trix on the team. Shinka also looking for a first kill. Combined with Deadshot, that's 3 players with only a single kill combined. Key will potentially bleed out, but Bibu's last alive with 1:45 to go. And Trix will just soften him up. Oh my, maybe the wolf cubs are already here, and that's why they aren't as strong as grown wolves? Maybe that's possible. Maybe they had the wolf puppies too soon.
This analogy, you're really...
Somebody tweeted at me and said they liked it, by the way. That's all that matters. That's the justification I need.
Good job.
I saw the alert pop up, and it was like, for the record in Taro, I loved it. And I was like...
No.
Go!
You and your one-man army, that's all there's going to be about that, okay?
There are dozens of us.
Just one. Just one. I mean, you go from winning Mowgli ace, you know, convincing round, you know, in that regard, to kind of getting stumped in this one. And it kind of falls up again. Very early deaths and walls, so they don't take the time they need. Mowgli didn't win that second gunfight. Then all of a sudden, Key gets like 3 kills now because of it. So these very small 50-50 gunfights have way too much impact, I feel like, from the side of Wolves.
When Key wasn't in the server, when he was dropping a donut, we saw an incredibly close 8-6 game. When Geekay are playing 5v5 and not 4v5, it looks disastrous for Wolves. Key played so well in that position. Obviously, the C4 coming through, the shotgun play, the long angle, or the SMG-11 angle, down to the player at the bottom of house stairs. Absolute performance coming through from him, and what we're seeing from Wolves, that was their second direct take on that bomb site. They never got the chance to go for the full clear. If we see this again, maybe in overtime, I wonder if that will come out, but for them now, they've just got to put that bomb site to rest, put it in the back of your minds. You've got one more round to attack. It's Barbecue Kitchen. Good luck.
Good luck. I mean, this is... I'm gonna copy a little bit. This is attack and silent skyscraper for Wolves.
Okay.
If they can get the 2-4 half just by themselves, a little bit of wiggle room when they get that side swap comes through, I think they might be okay. But going down 1-5, you're gonna be in the back of your head going, guys, this is not looking good, and if we make a single mistake, we're out of it basically. We're staring down match point at least. So the risk assessment changes, but Mowgli so far is still keeping it up, applying pressure onto Hisham, and Jimmy jumps in the window.
Gets the kill, takes advantage of that adrenal surge. Not good enough for a second, though. Noodle trades him out immediately. And Nick, further to your point, not just a 5-1 for GK, but a 5-1 where you've got no parachute. Because you had to use that timeout so early on, Wolves will just have to roll with it. The only way they could presumably do a timeout would be the SQ timeouts yesterday, where if you saw it was used repeatedly in that match, where Sonics were consistently in a bad position, and then they would just have Grixer go and sit and wait and talk amongst the team. Now, you can't talk to your coaches, but you still get to talk to each other. And if you're in that position, that means you're on match point if we're actually going all the way in this hypothetical, which for Wolves is terrible. That means you only have one more opportunity. If you're Sonics, you almost got there. I was actually watching Super Stream, and I was enjoying it very much. Came so close. For Wolves, you'd be lucky at this point to get that close.
Yeah, this is a tough spot, right? You've now lost your second body, and it was a little bit better than the first round. They had a bit better time pushing in this 4v4, but losing that body of Bibu, man, that is really, really rough. The top floor will be a little bit given up by the side of GK. They haven't fully given it up. They've still got Noodle up there. We've got the smoke up there, too, from Key, so they aren't giving it up. But they have retreated out of Geisha. They're not playing so aggressively inside of here anymore. We're finding that out on the side of Wolves here as Deadshot walks in, and the plant's going down from Shinka.
How does Shinka have the map control to do this with so many players up from GK? Or are they just simply not aware? Deadshot eliminating Key. Now it's P4. Still looking for his first pick, but Deadshot is so good. Diffuser doesn't go down. Noodle goes huge with Leader there in tow. It's Noodle and Deadshot in a 1v1 with 30 seconds left. Leader might be retrievable, but it's hard to say at this point. I think the play for Noodle is to just simply wait it out. Only 20 seconds left.
Attackers recovered the
Diffuser
bomb.
picked up, and
15 seconds
possibly
left.
in the corpse of Leader, the Diffuser goes down. No. Deadshot will reposition towards that barbecue door. Noodle could play off of this. Pros don't fake. Deadshot wins it all. What an absolutely inhuman effort. Still some life for Wolves.
They needed that. Mentally speaking, confidence speaking, they needed that so badly. Now there's a bit of hope in their eyes again. They get the 2-4 half, they go to that favorable defensive side, and they can maybe, just maybe, pull back this comeback and go to a third map. But if you're GK, you don't really mind this too much because that round should have never gotten that close from their side. They really brought it back to that 1v1.
No, I'm nervous now. Maybe it's copium, but not only do we have them going to the favorable side, not only do we have Wolves fired up and going with that energy that we've seen work so well for them in the past, but the statistics for GK on the defense are also not great for them. GK have the worst the worst attacking entry, I meant to say, coming through here. They are attacking for the second half. The worst attacking entry out of any team in Atlanta. They get the opening pick just 29% of the time, and that may be okay if Wolves aren't great at capitalizing off that opening pick. But Wolves have an 83% defensive entry conversion. That means if they get the opening pick on entry or on defense, they win 83% of the time. This stat may come back to bite GK. Obviously, this is against other opponents. This is maybe a small sample size for some of these squads, but they did both play in the play-ins, and those rounds are taken into account. So for Wolves, that's kind of the light in the tunnel. You are down 4-2, but the stats say that this is a much better sight for you because of the map, because of the entry statistics, and because of the momentum that they're bringing into this round. So I'm not worried for them yet. This is their map pick. They should have good defenses on Sky. Anybody's game still to play.
No, it is. And while we got this technical time, I just want to talk about the fact that I spoke to Valentino from Falcons back in Mana. And I was like, you know, I'm missing you this event because, you know, he was showing up and he was becoming like a stable, you know? And then it was always been GK and Falcons domestically always being first and second, back and forth. And Valentino said, you know what? With how well GK are playing, I'm not even mad that I'm not there because they're representing our region so well, putting on such a good performance, and he believes they can make main stage as well and represent their region in the quarterfinals.
I mean, it'd be a story.
That would be a story.
Right? The first time in a major. We saw Falcons attend a major for the first time back in Copenhagen. Now we could see GK attend top 8 with a crowd behind them at a major. And I got to imagine, unless they're playing some NA favorites, this team will get the crowd behind them because you know an NA crowd loves the underdogs.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't watch Twitch chat while I cast. None of us do, actually. But we can always go back and rewatch this portion of the broadcast. Chat, would you cheer for GK if you were here present in Atlanta? Yes or no? It's very simple.
Woo!
Nick's already cheering.
I'm cheering. I also like to...
He's a biased caster, though.
I do. I'm always biased for everything, apparently, right? But no, I think building the future of the game for those like pro players, up-and-coming teams, orgs, I think it's very important for the longevity. Let's say it's always G2 Dark Zero. They both, you know, retire, you know, get new players. Troy disappears. I don't know, disappears. Like, who do we care about anymore, right? We want to get
Troy
these new boys. No, he's inevitable. He's always here.
What did we do to make that happen?
Too many overtime games.
I only say this because he watched our TriCast 2 days ago and he said I look like a grandmother. That was really hurtful. I think with my hair and all of that, I'm like Qui-Gon Jinn from Star Wars Episode 1 meets Cottage Core.
You're not that.
I think that's Cottage Core Qui-Gon Jinn.
That's
how I would describe my look today.
Wolves on T-Room karaoke.
Not a
for their
grandmother.
First defense.
Most importantly.
Keep going, Jesse.
No grandmas in the server. We've got a Geisha-focused execute right now with the defuse kit held by leader just outside of there. Hisham down below trying to work some magic. He's already used both of his grenades. Didn't find anything with them. Those are the, well, half of the nades that have been brought by GK. They still have 2 more in the pocket of Noodle. Although I don't believe that he is down below with Hisham. Could rotate later. We'll have to wait and see. But, oh, he actually is down below. I'm seeing on the minimap. But it's going to be Shinka inside of Geisha trying to hold this one down. He's aware that nades could come below. He's aware his phone is ringing. Bibu, his phone's ringing too. This is bad. How is he alive?
Hisham somehow dies to Bibu. Noodle now primed and ready with a nade, but still Bibu persists inside a pantry. Backed up, of course, by Mowgli now, who that delay was to get Mowgli back in the server. By the way, Bibu and P4 on the board now as well. 2 kills for P4 as he broke into that goose egg previously. GK, they slaughtered on their entry. Leader holds onto that diffuser. GK about to lose their very first attack. Does lend some credibility to the argument that you've made about this being a dramatically defender-sided map.
Yeah, my goal there. I mean, they were focused so heavily on people downstairs and they couldn't clean it up. So all of a sudden they lose 3 members in the process. Now it's all down to leader. On Thermite, you know, breaching walls, droning, and now last man standing. And I mean, somebody please help this guy. He's fighting left, right, center, and downstairs. And P4 swings and gets the kill. Wolves, they got that final attack around. They're feeling good. And they also get their first defending round victory.
Yeah, I am very impressed with Bibu for winning that fight down below when he's literally prone. Hisham peeks him once, sees that he's there, then he fires, I think, 1 bullet, goes for the reload. I'll have to go back and see the replay, how many bullets were actually in his clip. That's either a problem of not reloading ahead of time or maybe misclicking his reload button. I'm not exactly sure, but regardless, that's a gunfight that the Finka should be winning most of the time. You saw him there, you had the phone calls ringing out. The fact that Bibu was allowed to persist, get another kill after that, completely opened up the round to come through from the Wolves. So rough one from GK. You maybe would like to have back. That's the kill, which unfortunately didn't go the way of Hisham. But still, wow, Bibu's so good. Still, you know, I think that on the side of GK, it's your opening round on attack. It's their best bomb site. It's okay. You just got to not let this momentum get a little out of hand.
I have a question, Jesse. You were going through that round, you know, early on when people first got into a confrontation downstairs. And you said, "Oh, on my minimap, I see this." Do we have a minimap here?
Okay, it's a big map.
Are you leaking some stuff here?
No, it's not a leak. It's just we have another observer feed.
Okay.
And it shows us top down.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe I was missing out on something here because the minimap sounded kind of delicious.
They've given
there.
analysts secret tech that they don't give to casters. That's the key.
Damn. I mean, I was an analyst back in Berlin Major, and I did not have that tech, so it must be new.
Yeah, brand new for the Major.
Damn. Okay. NA Major, and then Bias was the NA analyst as well. It is what it is.
We're all NA casters, you idiots. Like, what is...
I said analyst. We're not analysts. We're casters, like you mentioned.
We have to analyze when we're in the game.
Okay.
So we're splitting hairs.
So
then why don't you ever?
Oh, break this down, Parker. He's gonna marry the wall. Yes. Oh, but
that hurts.
Kill.
It hurts so much.
Fire throw there.
Exhibition office for round number 8, of course. We saw the map play coming through. The castle barricades, decently common strategy with the mirror window, then looking into T-room as well. You really are just drawing a line down the map saying, we will not go farther than this, nor will you. The castle barricades and mirror windows make it very tough to make it on in. Keith starts to break down these barricades now, though, but look how much time we've already wasted. Minute 46 on the clock. We still have strong positions being held by both Bibu and the mirror of Shinka, so these two, whether they want to hold here for a little bit longer and then back off, or whether they want to take some fights and maybe make this even worse for GK if they win them, it's really up to them and how they're feeling.
I love the setup. The castle barricades, the key bass, you know, all of it. He's like saying, you know, we're just going to sit in these corners and GK got to make all the first moves. And so far, they haven't really made it yet. Boost comes to a Geno Surge. Noodle with the Gun 6 in pocket might look for an aggressive play here, but the thing is, what's the setup gonna look like? We see 2 members in the balcony near the bomb side, and 3 members in this geisha portion of the map, so very split down the attack.
Waiting on that Gon 6 to open things up, and they'll have to deal with the Kiba barriers first. P4 eliminating Tricks, as Noodle is the next one involved over by Terrace, fighting that bar hold that's been established by Deadshot. Noodle throwing out yet another smoke just to conceal. Down goes leader. Deadshot finally finished off as Wolves hold the upper hand with 45 seconds remaining.
Great use of the Yana smoke grenades from Noodle to get on in there and block off the line of sight from Bibu, who's playing inside of Drum. He didn't have the angle as the player jumped in the window, and now Bibu himself being pressured. The Maverick's still a bit of a problem that Bibu's got to deal with. Unfortunately, the defuse kit went down, jumping in exhibition window, so that's a problem they've got to fix at some point from Geekay. But still, I mean, with a good little positioning coming in from Noodle, I mean, it's not impossible here, and that's a great start.
Excellent follow-up as Hisham gets some control over towards Dragon, and now sitting on flank watch, will not await anybody over on the side of Karaoke or T, though he does have a player close left in Bibu. Bibu's waiting for the cross, losing the duel. No, that's not how it's supposed to go. A frenzy breaking out as Geekay need to find the last kill, and they do so.
How?
Brilliant.
Just how?
And they rush on through. It's a bit linear, right? They're all kind of coming through from the one side of the map. They're all on Dragon's side, but it's okay because whilst they had lost the defuse kit, they understood the assignment. They know they've got to rush through the bomb site. And again, that smoke grenade from the Yana, Noodle used it to jump on in. That's a perfect use of that utility to get in and stop that pinch. This was a very similar push to what we saw from Wolves. I believe it was round number 2, where they're trying to get into exhibition. It's a direct take, and they don't have any distraction. They get slammed jumping in that window. There it is from P4, killing Tricks. That should have been the end of the push. That, in many ways, could have absolutely dismantled things because that's defuse kit on the ground completely alone. But the play from Noodle, the pressure from the rest of these players to get on in and take control of that site, excellently done, really well called, man.
It might not have been called by P4 or Wolves that they did indeed have the diffuser case on the bomb set, because if they knew that, I feel like you could have played it a bit different. A bit more far back, a bit more passive, and try and play on the clock, because there was only like 2.5, maybe 3 seconds left when the round actually ended up being finished. And I mean, every single Tiger round right now for both teams on the half, they're so important. Wolves only got 2. One of them was a 1 versus 1 clutch. Geekay already have gotten their first. One more, and then are guaranteed at least to go into overtime. And yeah, the Noodle play with the smokes Nana bought them a way in. But more importantly, they did something that was like unorthodox. You can't really prepare for those things. And I think it was like a mid-round thing where Geekay said, you know what, we see an opening here, and it might get really, really messy, but it might also work. And sometimes all you need is a bad plan that everyone's following, because that's better than having no plan at all.
100% it is. And we're seeing a very similar strategy with the mirror windows and the castle barricades, drawing a line down the map. You're going to hold inside of Drum, you're going to hold outside of Dragon, you're not going to let them past the T room. But one thing that we're seeing now, which is a little bit different, we've got Mowgli down below on the Valkyrie, a pre-play C4 actually put a little bit earlier in the round. Not sure if that's been utilized yet. No, it hasn't. There it is. Fine scheme. Brilliantly done. And that's a great little adaptation coming through they didn't have last round. That's now started them off on a really good foot in round number 8 or 9.
Yeah. The question now is, do they fall back, solidify, play those crossfires? Well, they're playing that middle line again where they hold Dragon, they hold Drum. Just kind of waiting again. Oh, that is a disgusting shot from People. Didn't need to take that risk, but he does, and falls back immediately to the bomb side.
The thing with Wolves is that they're always capable of these individual heroics. I mean, typically it's Mowgli that we see doing it, but throughout the course of this entire event, everybody on this team has pulled it off at least one time. Maybe Shinka's not in the best position to do so today, but otherwise can absolutely make his impact known. Outside of that, Wolves have established themselves quite well in the previous round. Still didn't go in their favor. Through the mid-round now, there's patience exhibited from them, but they're still lined up to greet these remaining players from Geekay. Not before Mowgli dies, though. And Noodle's got 2 nearby in Drum. Deadshot to the right awaits him first. And oh my goodness, what a shot by Noodle, who might lose out on another player to the left. But no, there's a push-up coming alongside Noodle from Geekay. They need to get to this bomb site quickly, only 45 seconds left.
So People falls back, but then just sticks around. It's kind of puzzling where they play both sides of the con, where either you play bomb site or you play the roam. Don't spread yourself too thin. You got the 5v3. That's not back to a 3 versus 3. And we saw Geekay push this side successfully last time. They could try to do that same kind of thing again, but this time they also have diffuser.
They've got the cams, and there goes a logic bomb as well. Last bit of this operator utility now expended And a perfect time to do that. Leader gunning down P4. 2 players from Geekay stacked up inside a Dragon. Shink is prepped and ready for that with a Nitro cell, but now falls off. Might play for the post plant. That leaves more on the shoulders of Bibu, as the diffuser will be walked in by Leader. Bibu by Bar, miles away, but Leader stops the play and it gets dropped at the last second. Sloppiness from Geekay as they have no idea where these last 2 players are. Wolves win it as the timer runs out.
Shinka with the C4 down below, Valkyrie cam in sight. That felt unwinnable, and I think getting off the defuse kit at the last moment was kind of GK recognizing, shoot, we're toast. They saw the mirror go downstairs. They had no opportunity to take her down, and so they know there's a C4 below us. We're on a red ping. Pretty unwinnable at that moment. Unfortunate that it went down that way because, as you said, Nick, it was a great recovery. I was a little bit shocked that they continued to pressure on from that west side. They really wanted to play inside of T-Room. They focused these kills. I didn't think that they would want to stick around after their Maverick died because, again, with Kivas and Castle Barricades and Mirror Windows, there's a lot here and you lost a bit of your utility. But they do stick around. They get those kills for it, and they actually have a pretty solid push to come out of it. It's just unfortunate that the Valkyrie camera intel coming through from the end was just a little bit too much from Mowgli.
Yeah, and Wolves, they understood the mission. Last time, they didn't realize what the objective was for GK, so that, okay, do they have diffuser? Do they not? We don't know, so we're gonna find out, I guess. This time they knew they do have diffuser, and they do want to get it down, but we have a C4. So again, communication was there for Wolves. They almost tied things up now, only down with a single round. But that office now locked for them for the next 2. So they're going back to that T-Kirky bomb site, where things, well, if the roam works on exhibition office, it goes pretty well for you. But if the exhibition roam fails, that's usually what the attackers, they get the round victory. So this round kind of lives and dies on the roam and on the exterior more often than not.
Yeah, and Mowgli takes down Hisham on the bottom floor of Rome, or sorry, on the top floor, pushing around there. Really nice to be able to take him down. The big thing, right, is that we do see Bibu down below inside of Kitchen. He was the big player last time they attacked this bomb site, but they've also got a really good extension over into Exhibition. In fact, almost every player on the side of Wolves is over on the east side of the map right now. Only Shinka and Bibu remain on the west. So we've got a lot of players extending over towards this. They want to fight GK early, even though they got this first pick. Some teams, they'd say, that's fine. We're going to back off. We're going to let them play 4v5. Wolves, they're hungry for more.
I think sticking on is a smart choice. You gotta make them breach, kill some drones, then fall back, because they know they can get more out of this. With Hisham being dead, with the finger being out of this round, you have a much more strong hold against this. The nades are gone, the adrenal surge is gone, one of the lurk/injury players are gone as well. So why give them all this map control for free? Stick around for a bit longer. And Deadshot has been doing this entire series, never quite falling back, sometimes to his demise, but this time with support from his teammates.
And they've got a bit of a cutoff coming through from the window too. We see Tricks down there, we see the Thermite as well, potentially going to catch these players. They've got to leave first, of course. Mowgli's kind of in this position, fighting against Key on one angle. Bibu is kind of with him as well, down below to try to support with a vertical angle. The smoke grenade comes out, we saw that earlier from Leader. Are they going to jump in and take something off of it? They're just working on the exhibition wall at the moment.
They were looking for kills now. As Leader will stumble into a goo mine. We saw some damage done earlier. Multiple goo mines, in fact. Key reduced, but still upright before being finished off. It's the first kill as well for this Geekay squad. GK, and they get another now. Noodle is gone, as Wolves will add to their tally in a 3v2. Trixton Leader, last 2 remaining. P4 plugging a hole with that Kiba barrier. Trix waiting it out. No utility remaining on his end. 45 seconds to go. Tough spot for GK.
They left the defuse kit. They need to find all these kills. If they don't, then they're going to be in a really bad spot.
Oh my! Hold on, there's life, and then there wasn't. Tie game between these teams, as it really is a very defender-sided skyscraper as we expected.
Yeah, I think the big thing I've noticed from these last couple rounds is when GK just choose a push, they really commit to it.
They do.
Both of those rounds, we saw them face a real big problem. They faced, first of all, it was that kind of Castle and Mira setup over on the T-Room side. Then in Exhibition, they faced these really heavy roamers who were hunkered in. It was Mowgli, it was P4, bodies that they tried calling, and they just never retreated. And we never saw GK GK make the decision like, there's a lot of players over here on the east side. What if we swap west? If we go towards the bomb site, they're going to follow us, because if they don't, we take site, they lose the round. So if we just go put some more pressure on the actual bomb site itself, that could work out for us. Now, they had a good pinch coming through the south. They started to have that little bit of pressure coming forward, but at the end of the day, like, it wasn't enough for them to actually draw those players back, and Wolves full committed. They just never retreated back into those crossfires, and because of it, Wolves had enough of a man advantage that when finally the scuffle ended over on the east side of the map, there was no defuse kit and no bodies to push the site.
Yeah, that round lives and dies on the roam, and that's usually how things go. But GK, they're usually so strong at adapting mid-round, like we saw when Noodle used to smoke grenades inside a connect, or inside a jungle rather, just kind of by himself like a shroud of smoke to get into the bomb site. That kind of stuff is what we expect from GK. When they find these small gaps, these small adaptations, they didn't do that last round. Like you mentioned, they were stuck on one side, didn't rotate over, but at Skyscraper, it's kind of time consuming to go from west side to east side. It's a very long map, if you will. So while GK's threat pushes have been pretty clean and pretty committed so far, it's a bit of a mixed bag right now, not really finding success that often. Nice little bit of impact trick vertically from P4, and again, the castle barricades, the utility, right? Even the now Melusi Banshees being brought by Bibo as well. There's just more things stopping GK from kind of entering the building and taking these fights.
The one thing I'll say about Wolves on this defense is, you know, they are playing relatively spread out positions. Nobody's over towards the east side, but you could isolate somebody. We saw Mowgli and Drum for a little bit, not really with the rest of his teammates. He's fallen back now to main stairs, though, so they can kind of play around Bibu. They've got Deadshot as well up inside of the... Oh, no. Up inside of T-Room as Noodle.
Frost rework.
Frost mat.
Sorry, I just wanted to... just in case anybody didn't know... Gets himself back up and will be a little bit injured. Sorry, I interrupted your flow as action started to break out. Gentlemen, please proceed.
Well, Parker, yes, nobody
It's just
died.
a privilege to be here.
Just did it again.
It's just a privilege to be here.
For real. Yeah, we've got the top floor mostly forced out at this point. We saw kind of Mowgli still sitting on main stairs. Noodle has seemingly control of... Oh, never mind. Noodle's got control of nothing. He dies.
Yeah.
That's going to be him being taken out by Shinka. So this top floor, you know what? It is still a problem, and they don't have a great answer to it.
They can't get in. They're pretty much all outside the building still looking for a pathway somewhere, but they're getting shut down in the windows, and the doorways, and the breach as well. And no one's really aggressing from GK either. They're waiting for a swing, which, yeah, it's happening, but then when it does, Wolves win that initial gunfight again.
This time it's key to die is you're being rebuffed. There's no step that you can find that is safe inside of this building whatsoever. And I mean, when you've got the favorable side of the map working for you, then you just need to let it do its thing. And I mean, Skyscraper, so dominantly in favor of the defenders, Wolves are proving just that. Final 35 seconds, and GK in a 3v5. They had a lead. It looked mighty good when they were up 5-3, only 2 rounds away from securing main stage, but that stage is getting smaller and smaller as these rounds go on. Hashom gets his team on the board, denying a flawless round for Wolves. Okay. There might be a chance now with Mowgli dying, but they'll have to be quick with only 10 seconds left. Crosses will be held by Wolves as Leader and Hashom need to get into the site. Leader with no information, sees one, can't outswing the Frost of Shinka, and now it's Hashom to let the timer run out. Wolves move to map point.
Again, we're seeing the Vault cams come into play late in that round. We did have dead players always on those cams, watching for where the push was coming in and the late execute. It really feels like Wolves like to have a Vault cam somewhere in sight, just so that they know when things get scrappy, they have that advantage to fall back on. They're going to have a bit of an intel advantage coming through there. And I think this is a smart timeout from GK. Something is not going right on these attacks. They're always fumbling, stalling out, not able to get the early advantage. They've got to find a way around this problem, because round after round after round, Wolves are presenting it, and there's been no solution.
But, so I agree that it's smart to take a tactical timeout, but it's 5-6 if you're GK. Is this not a little bit too late, possibly? You might only have one more attack in round, then it's over, and the attacks, well, they never went well. They won a single round, kind of a clutch round where they pushed through right without diffuser, and that was it. So they could have taken this 2-3 rounds ago and still been in that same unsuccessful position, but now they're just super unsuccessful, and if they lose this upcoming round, the map is done.
And Wolves got that fire behind him too.
Yeah.
We saw Lailoon put up her microphone with like 10-15 seconds still remaining in that attack timeout. She was like, there's nothing I need to say. You guys are killing it. You're crushing it. They've got that momentum. They're getting loud, which again, that's what Wolves thrive off of. They thrive off that energy. So I think that they're in a good position. GK, it's really going to come down, a test for their coach. Can they make this comeback happen?
I said something many, many rounds ago, all the way at the onset of this map, when I made a comment about, well, the only way that Wolves is going to get a timeout is if things go really bad and they decide to just sit around, you know, and throw around. The one thing that I omitted to say was if GK throws a timeout, then Wolves also get to benefit from that.
Yep.
At the time, it was 4-2 in favor of GK. It didn't look that promising for Wolves, but we were waiting the results of this second half to come in. Well, guess what? They've come in, and they are fantastic for Wolves at this point, setting themselves up to go 5-1 and close this out without overtime. Because GK have now called their timeout, Wolves get to benefit from that too, which might actually be quite good given the circumstances that they're in. GK have had some serious struggles on their attack. I genuinely don't know what they can do to improve it through one round.
No, when I see a technical timeout, I really want to see like a big change in like operator lineup or spawn positions, because I want to see the coach saying, guys, let's go for this one-off strat, let's change things around, because this just kind of leads me to believe it's the minor details they spoke of, right? You know, maybe getting up and killing a certain position, you know, setting up a crossfire somewhere, doing a certain drone thing. And I just feel like if you're losing all these attacking rounds, a bigger change is going to give you a better result than these minor small details, because we always know you might change up your drone or something, but Mowgli's still going to swing you. If you lose that gunfight, the result will stay the same.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the Amaru at the very beginning of this round. We talked about potentially jumping up the hatch. I think that would be a good option here, but they don't go for it, right? They are going for a bit of a more direct take. We still have the Maverick over on this Geisha side who wants to try to make some kind of an impact. He's got Sledge with him, but the majority of this push, the defuse kit coming from GK, is by the bomb site itself. So it feels like this is maybe a bit of an early pinch, maybe two players who want to apply some pressure. And they've kind of rotated up towards the north-hand side. No, they're pulling some players over here. I think they will once again try to clear this castle and Mira setup.
Yeah, going a little bit back and forth, and I think this is like phantom pressure. Start somewhere, go somewhere else, and then back and forth a little bit, and keep Wolves guessing as to what's actually going to be happening here. And they almost get a kill because of it, but Mowgli, unfortunately for GK, he gets out live.
It's the slowest round when it comes to time so far on this second half that we've seen. Usually, somebody is dead at this point. I mean, I hate to curse them into it, but it just happens with leader dying. Noodle has flushed out some of the hallway. Shinka cannot play off of this position, as now this karaoke and T portion of the map has been lost, though the bomb site is not over there. That's the focus at the moment for GK.
55 seconds. They're committing to holding this too. Like, we see Bibu again in an aggressive position right on this wall. It's gonna be tough for him to get out if he wants to now, although maybe, no. He sticks around a little too long and he gets punished for it.
Overtime could be coming, friends, but Shinka says, no, we want Oregon to seal the deal. And for the first Middle Eastern team to ever play on the main stage, they'll need to win this round to try and do it in 2 maps. Only 30 seconds remaining. Mowgli will chase one off of this position on Dragon, still not moving himself out of that spot, but down goes Shinka. We're even at 20 seconds now. I'll have to beat this pace. Hashom over towards Dragon. Key walking through Terrace. They'll pitch on out, but the Azami of Deadshot is poised, primed and ready. Time not working in their favor. Hashom goes as well. It's all up to Trix, who dies. Both teams winning their own map. A 5-1 second half for Wolves. Oregon up next.